Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red. This Monday morning, it's dry out there, and I hope it's going to be dry all day. But just in case, take your brolly. We're going to look at Matthew 16, and we're going to be looking at verse 10. And Jesus has begun his story, and as before, he's reiterating the point to press in. And in verse 10, he says again to the disciples, or the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many large baskets full you picked up? So having said it on the first occasion, the 5,000 feast, and now the 4,000 feeding feast. And Jesus is saying, in effect, don't you remember? Don't you understand? And there is a need sometimes to revisit the same point in order to make sure that someone has got the insight that you're hoping for them to get. And I believe that's what Jesus is doing here. He's really just trying to really lay this pressing in to get them to understand, to make a point. It's like regurgitating the point in order for conviction to really take hold of that individual life. Because until conviction takes hold of what's being said, it's like they're just words. Have you ever wondered why God gave us a memory? Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't actually remember? We could just keep on living the experiences again and again and again. In some ways it would be nice. In other ways it wouldn't be. But there's a sense in which that need to remember, recall, and unless it goes deep into us at a point of conviction, we don't really remember. In fact, I don't believe that until we get a conviction regarding what's been said, we actually haven't yet heard what's being said. And as we read the Bible, it's really important to not just skip read it, to just kind of brush over it, but to take on board what the Bible is being said, what the Bible is saying, so that it can really affect our lives. Otherwise, what we'll find ourselves is we'll be fed information, little stories, and we'll know about it intellectually, but we won't really know. And I think what Jesus is doing here, when he comes across by saying the 5,000 feeding and then the 4,000 feeding, and then he goes on really tomorrow, which we won't talk about now, but he goes on tomorrow to really kind of press in, the point about regarding the Pharisees. But taking hold of what Jesus says is crucial. And if we live our lives really in a superficial fashion, then that's what our lives will be, superficial. But when we live our lives with conviction, it's like all of a sudden those truth convictions, they take hold of us and they sustain us, they help us. And that's when we can remember what this victory is about, what this opportunity to know something is about. In the dark times when life is beating us up, it's difficult to really know what to do. But when something is in your inner being, like at a point of conviction, in the dark times, you will be able to bring those things to mind, and they really will bring about a good help for you. Otherwise, what will happen is that you'll just be in those dark times and you'll just panic like everyone else. And what God is wanting us to do is to take his word and let the word come alive in us, live in us, so that in the dark times of life or the difficult times of life, we can recall the word and it rises up and it takes hold of us and it strengthens us to face whatever giant we're having to face at that time. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.